Hi everybody and welcome back to Mathmagicians. Today we are going to be doing something called Popsicle Stick Geometry. And there are make and take kits for this. And if you want to do this activity, I would suggest you come to get one because it took me like 50 minutes, maybe even a little bit more, to color, label, and cut out all the construction paper pieces for this project. So I would recommend not doing it yourself at home. So how we do this is that we have, I think it's 35 popsicle sticks. 8 plus 7 is 15, plus 6, and 6, that's 12. 15 plus 12 is 27. Plus 3 is 30, plus 5 is 35. So yes, there are 35 sticks involved in this project. The jumbo ones work better for what we're going to do. So if you do decide to do this at home, there's no time-lapse video for this because who would want to watch 50 minutes of me coloring popsicle sticks? So what you do, you need to separate them into groups if you do this to yourself at home. So you're going to want one group of 3. You're actually going to want 2 groups of 6, and I'll explain why in a couple of minutes. So you'll want 2 groups of 6, 1 group of 7, 1 group of 8, and I don't think I said 5, so you'll also want 1 group of 5. So what you do, you color each of the groups of sticks a different color. The only difference is that the 2 groups of 6, you want each one to be a different color. So for the purposes of this, I made my group of 3 purple. And then what you do when that's all done, after they're all colored, and like I said, it takes a while, you want to put the number, the numeral on each stick that's a specific color. So we have 3s on here, and then you want to write a word. And the words that you need to write for each number are in the instructions on the website. But for this one, it's triangle. And then here's why you ended up having 2 groups of 6 and no group of 4. So for the purposes of geometry, well, when we're learning about shapes, we learn that there are squares and rectangles. And if you think about squares and rectangles, they both have 4 sides. So a square, what makes a square different from a rectangle is that a square's sides are equal. So they might be, each side might be 1 inch long, or it might be 2 inches long, or if you're building a building, it might be 10 feet long. But each side is the same in a square. In a rectangle, which is still a 4-sided figure, in a rectangle, 2 of the sides are longer than the other 2. So you might have 2 sides in a rectangle that are 5 inches, and then 2 sides that are 10 inches. But because they're all 4-sided figures, we needed 6 sticks for 4. I know it sounds funny, but you have your 4 that will make your square, that everything is the same length. And then if you want to make a rectangle, because we don't have longer popsicle sticks, you actually have to use 2 extra popsicle sticks to make the longer sides. So that's how you end up with 2 groups of sticks instead of 1 group of 4. So you do that for all of them. These are my 6-sided figures, which are called hexagons. My 5-sided figures are pentagons. My 7-sided figures are heptagons. And my 8-sided figure is going to be an octagon. So after you've colored and labeled all of your sticks, and like I said, the right labels, the colors don't matter, but the right labels to go with the right numbers are on the site. Then you have to actually draw and cut out shapes from construction paper that are 3, 4, 2, we have 2 of them for 4. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8-sided figures. I used a ruler to do it. I even measured, and as we've learned in STEM, in math, in anything where I have to use this ruler, I can measure 3 inches for every side and they still come out looking lopsided. So I have a, you know, this was supposed to be a 3-inch on every side triangle. Does it look like they all match to you? Because it's crooked to me. Same with my octagon. I measured them so the sides matched. They don't. You can just see it and you can tell. So this is why I don't work construction, and also why I'm not an engineer. So after you do that, you're all set to go. And there are a couple of different ways that you can play with this. So if you are younger, you might want to do this with an older sibling or with a parent. And lost my train of thought. If you're younger and you're doing this with a parent, it might be better to have your parent set up the popsicle sticks and lay them out on a surface or on a table so that they form the correct shape. And after I'm done talking, I will lay them out on the floor and I'll flip the camera around so you can see what they look like. So it might be better to have a parent lay them out where you can see all the shapes with the sticks. And if you are younger, then you'll take the construction paper and try to match up each shape with the sticks. You can even do this at a really young age if you color code them. And if you do get a make and take kit, they will all be color coded. So you will notice that my sticks are purple, my paper's purple, I have it labeled with 3, I have it labeled with triangle. So everything kind of goes together. So I did this activity mostly to get us familiar with words that we will see in geometry and learn about numbers and number of sides and just kind of be a visual thing so that when you get older and you get to geometry, this all isn't brand new. Geometry was very hard for me, even though I knew my shapes when I was young and things like that. So I thought maybe the earlier we heard these words, the less scary it would be when you get older. However, you could do this even with really young kids that are learning their colors and learning their numbers, because the colors match. So even if you're not using the vocabulary, this is still doable with a younger crowd. If you were older, maybe like 3rd, 4th, and up grade, you can do this on your own probably, and you could put out the construction paper shapes and then try to build a matching shape around it with your sticks. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to flip the camera around and I'm going to show you how to do this both ways, but you can't be looking at me. You have to be looking at this, and I have no way to flip it down onto the table. So we're going to move on to the floor. I'm going to show you how to do this both ways. Okay, so we have all our shapes laid out on the floor, put together with the popsicle sticks. You'll notice with the 4, so this is what I was talking about. The square is here and they're even. I put the rectangle pieces up here, but what you could do if you wanted to do the rectangle is you could just take the 2 rectangle pieces, oops, and add them like this. So as you can see, there's still 4 sides, but you need the extra piece to make the rectangle. So for the purposes of what we're doing right now, I'm gonna leave it as a square, but that is how you could make it a rectangle with those 2 extra pieces. So we have all our shapes laid out, and then we have our construction paper shapes in our hand. So what you can do with the youngest group, whether they're doing color matching or they're matching the shapes themselves, if they're learning shapes, you will pick one out and then you'll try to find the shape that matches it. So that was our purple triangle. Our next one is red, our red square. Our next one is orange, our sad orange pentagon. The next one in my stack is blue, and it's 8-sided, so that's my also sad 8-sided octagon. The next one is green, so this is the heptagon. I don't know, that one in particular, this heptagon, the 7-sided one, was really hard to draw because I can't even think in my head of anything, any 7-sided figure that I even know of. Like a thing, like a pentagon, there's the Pentagon building. We know triangles, we know squares and rectangles. Octagons are the shape of stop signs. Hexagons, which are these yellow ones. There are things out there that are 6-sided, but I got a hard time coming up with a 7-sided one. So if you know of something that is a 7-sided figure like that, please let me know. But this is how it works with the construction paper matching. I'm not gonna disassemble this to do it again because you kind of get the concept, but I will do it with a triangle. So if you're older and you wanna work on your building skills, you can put all of the construction paper pieces down, and then you can try to build around the cutout shape. So that's kind of hard to do and make it look semi-even when I'm holding the camera, but you could build around it. So you can either build them first, then match, or you can put all the construction paper pieces down and build around them. But that is how you can use these kits. Like I said, they are time consuming to make. So if you want to do this and you have a way to get over to the library and get into our make and take box, which is available during curbside hours, please come and take a kit, because it's gonna take me a really long time to make them and I want you guys to use them. So this is Mathmagicians for today. We hope you enjoyed it. We hope this teaches you some new words and some new shapes and some new things. And we also hope that you are having a great day. Bye, everybody.